Howdy! Hey, how there? I'm doing the experiment tonight. I kind of raided the back of my beer fridge, and I've done 3 beers this evening that were past date. And this is the 4th one, Widmer Brothers Rotator IPA Series O'Reilly IPA. I didn't realize this one had been there as long as it had, to be honest with you. It's just a few months old, but it's actually an 11. I thought it was from this year, but the date on it is October 4th of 11. So, holy crap, in a basket, right? So let's see what this baby has to offer. The truth is, though, 2 out of 3 of these babies, 2 out of 3, have been great. Sierra Nevada celebration was fantastic. A year later, the hotel's Mount Standard time 3 months past date was fantastic. But the year-old Boulevard Nutcracker, not so much. That one really was bad. So I'm curious. So far, the IPAs that I've tried have held up. So I'm curious what this O'Reilly is going to do to me. Okay. Well, here's the thing. I actually found the first 2 beers to be great, and not really notice much difference. They were fantastic just the way they are. The Nutcracker I found not only disappointing after a year, but actually hard to drink because it was all the flavors were just bland. I'm going to tell you straight honest though, with this one, the flavors have changed. It is not an IPA anymore. Because that's what I expected the other 2 to do, to not be an IPA anymore. But stop it. My son's giving me a hard time over here. But they still work. This isn't an IPA anymore. Here's the thing, though.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
We're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. Here's the thing, though. If I didn't realize what this was, if somebody just poured this for me in a glass and said, here, drink it, I would still think it's a good beer. Even though it's not an IPA anymore. The carbonation is still perfect. It has a nice hoppy finish, but not IPA hoppy. But the malts, the rye malts have kind of taken over. Which is good though, because if you like rye malts anyway, because it's got some great spiciness right up front. Hold on a second, I'm going to tell you something else. Hold on. You ever, if you've ever done some home brewing, and you ever taken a good whiff of your beer, tell the smell I'm getting right here. Actually, the hops aren't as predominant as they once were, but the rye is more so predominant. So it is not an IPA anymore. But who knows? But it's still hoppy. I mean, it still feels hoppy. I mean, it's not lager.
Are you hoppy?
You know, I mean, it's still more pale ale hoppy. You know what I'm saying? It still feels pretty hoppy. I know, everybody's pretty hoppy. You hoppy, I'm hoppy. Anyway, I digress. So my experiment is I feel like I'm 2-1-1. The first 2 were clear winners after Will Pastor Friend. I kind of lost one with the Nutcracker. I'm going to call this one a draw because even though it is not an IPA anymore, it is still good in this new incarnation. Some say these turn into hot bombs. I wouldn't call this a hot bomb, even though malt bomb rather. Even though the malts are probably more predominant than the hops at this point, it hasn't completely overtaken it. It has shifted. So I mean, the rye is woo, 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 come on. But the hops are still right there at the end. So Oh, excuse the hell out of me for that. I apologize. Oh.
Mama.
You know, I keep drinking this thinking I'm going to change my mind. Actually, the more I drink this, the more I get into it, the more hoppy it feels.
Coffee. Berry coffee.
So, 90 days. Does 90 days really matter? No, I don't think so. But some beers are going to hold up better than others. That's obvious. That celebration I had that was better than a year old was fantastic. It still was. It still felt like an IPA. I mean, it was just beautiful. And so did the Mountain Standard Time from Odell's. The Boulevard Nutcracker, not so much. Even though it wasn't an IPA, I expected the malts to really grow, and they did not. The whole beer just kind of went flat, and I was very disappointed. And this one, I don't know. I was calling it a draw, but I am going to call it a win. Because I love the way it tastes. It is not an IPA, yes, that's why I was calling it a draw, because it wasn't an IPA anymore. But I'm calling it a win now. I'm changing my mind. Because I enjoy it the way it is. If I was just tolerating this version of it, then it's a draw. But the fact is that this version of it, even though it may not be what it was originally supposed to be, is still a damn fine beer. If the IPA was not on this label, if it was just a rye ale, I would think this. If somebody just handed this to me without telling me what was on the bottle, I would just make the assumption it's a rye ale and think this is damn tasty, and not that it's a year-old beer. So again, sometimes it's all about perception. Sometimes it's all about what you think it's supposed to be. If you think it's supposed to be this and it turns out to be something else, you're disappointed. But if you take it out on its own merits, maybe it's acceptable. So anyway, hey, I love this the way it is, to be honest with you. So I'm going to call it a win. I'm going to say I'm 3-1 for my great out-of-date experiment. Oh, what the hell? You win some, you lose some. It's time to Beer Whisperer. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You all have a great evening, because obviously I am.